Hello again and welcome back to my workshop. Today we're going to build a farmhouse bench. It's going to go with the trestle farmhouse table that I've already got built. First, we're going to build it out of 2x4s. It's going to take 7 or 8 2x4s. I went to Lowe's, and because of the whole COVID thing going on, they don't have all the lumber that they normally have. So the 2x4s that they have are actually only 92 inches. And the plan calls for 7 8-foot 2x4s. So I got 8 just to be safe. First off, we're going to do a cut at 15.5 inches. We're going to do 4 15.5 inches. Now, the first cut, you need to do it with the blade angled, tilted 10 degrees, and it's going to be parallel cut. 10 degrees here, 15.5 inches down, it's going to be parallel cut, just like that. Okay, for this next part, I am going to be using my brand new Kreg Jig. I have never used it. This is going to be the first time I've ever drilled in it. So the instructions told me we're using 2x4, so which is actually 1.5 inch thickness. So I've got my depth, or the board thickness, set there at 1.5, and then you come over here to this dial and you set your the depth ring so that we're right at 1.5, which is the entire depth of it there. So we'll clamp the board in there, get it all squared up, and make a couple pocket holes. So the side we want to drill in, if you can see that there, is the longer on the outside edge of the angle. Two pocket holes. Pretty cool. Okay, so our next 2x4 we're going to cut is going to be 12.5 inches at its longest point, and they're going to be cut on end at a 10-degree angle. So the outside edges will be 12.5 inches, and they'll be angled in towards each other, not parallel. Alright, next we're going to do pocket holes on both ends of both pieces. Alright, so next we're going to put together the leg ends, and that's from one side is going to be 2 of the 15.5 inch connected to the one of the 12.5 inches. We are going to make a mark from the inside of the leg up 3 inches on each side. That will be the bottom of our 12.5 inch board. And we are going to glue the ends of these boards and use the pocket screws to screw them in tight. Okay, so next we're going to cut 2 2x4s at 14 inches. So we'll get those marked off here. Okay, so the 14-inch boards that we just cut are the top piece going across, and we're going to line those up. So to the outside edges of the legs, it'll measure 11.5 inches, and you're going to have 1.25 inches hanging over on both sides. Alright, got both of those put together. A couple of the screws just came through a little bit, but the bench is going to be on top of that, so it won't hurt anything. But in the future, I'm going to dial the depth back a little bit on the Kreg Jig. Okay, the next board we're going to cut is at 54 inches, so we'll get that marked. And then we're going to put pocket holes, 2 pocket holes on each side of the 54-inch board. Okay, now we're going to attach the 54-inch board to each one of the leg bases at the top, centered. And the pocket holes will be on the bottom. Alright, that's the basic frame put together. On to the next step. Okay, the next board we are going to cut is going to be 58 inches long, and it is the runner underneath attaching to the bottom brace of the legs. And again, we're going to put pocket holes, 2 pocket holes on each side of the 58-inch board. Alright, now you find your center mark on the bottom brace of the legs and the center mark on the middle of the 2x4. To get it all lined up. Do that on both sides. I've already glued the ends. Okay, so the next piece, sorry about my drawing, is getting a little smudged up here, but my next piece is this angle from the bottom, cut at a 45-degree angle, both sides, going from the bottom to the top runners. Okay, the base is done. Now we are going to cut 4 2x4s at 76 inches. So I normally use biscuits and glue to put a tabletop together or a bench top. But with the new Kreg Jig here, we're gonna use it and make pocket holes, and it'll be the underside of the bench, and we'll fasten the 4 76-inch boards together that way. Now we just repeat that with 2 more boards. Alright, there you go, and that's how you make a 2x4 bench for a farmhouse table. Still got to sand it, fill in some of the visible pot or the holes for the screws, and then put a finish on it.